Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is Chris. This is the first proper video on this channel, and I'm going to be explaining how I've recently unfortunately broken my foot and how that's affected my 2022 season. So how exactly did I break my foot? Well, I was actually doing my local park run. So Barnstaple Park Run is my local park run, and it was actually the first time I was doing it. I built up a decent amount of fitness up to this point, and I was quite confident I was going to go in and actually beat my 5k PB. So I was around 1.8 kilometers into the run, and just after going up a bit of an incline, there was part of the path that separated between like walkers and cyclists. Now, I can't remember exactly what happened. I'm going to have to go back and have a look at the terrain. But what I think happened is that I just landed, unfortunately, awkwardly on the raised bit of concrete that separates those two paths. So I ended up rolling my ankle. I felt pain straight away, had to stop. There was part of me, as I was on for such a good time, that thought, oh, can I just shake it out and keep going? And yeah, I quickly realised that wasn't going to happen. So immediately after, I couldn't put any weight on it really. I was hobbling just to get out of the way of the other runners coming up behind me. And so I sat down, and straight away I could see that my ankle had swollen up like an absolute balloon. At this point, I didn't know the extent of the damage other than the swollen ankle. So I was hoping it was just a sprain. So after seeing the race director and getting an ice pack on it, they suggested that I go up to A&E, which I'm really glad I did now. So I managed to get up to A&E okay. Thankfully, my partner Stacey and my mum were with me with the car, so they could take me straight up there. It wasn't too long of a wait actually. I was in and out within 2 hours, which was pretty good going considering they said between 5 and 6 hours wait time when I went in there. After a short wait, I was looked over initially, asked some general questions, and then shortly after that I went in for an x-ray. After a bit more waiting, I was given the unfortunate news that I had broken a bone, and it wasn't actually anything to do with my ankle, thankfully. I think I would have struggled a lot more with the recovery had it been my ankle, but it wasn't. It was a break in my foot. They did show me the x-ray, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't take a picture of it or ask for some more information to know exactly which bone I'd broken, but it was definitely my broken foot. Now, as you can imagine, I was absolutely gutted at this news. I've never broken a bone before. I've been very lucky in that regard at 28 years old. But yeah, this is my first broken bone, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to do some of the events that I had coming up. I'm not ashamed to admit that as soon as I got picked up in the car, I burst into tears. I was absolutely gutted. Not only because of the upcoming races that I had planned, but also knowing that I wouldn't be able to do any training for a while, and that's just what I enjoy doing, and that's how I spend my time. So obviously I had to admit defeat in the fact that I wouldn't be doing a few events this year, and the two events that I had planned in that I've unfortunately had to withdraw from are a local 10k, the Bideford 10k, which is actually this weekend coming at the time of filming, and also the Outlaw Half Triathlon the following weekend. So being a small local event, I obviously couldn't get any refunds for the 10k, but thankfully that was only about £20 to enter. I was quite lucky in the fact that I managed to get a partial refund for Outlaw, so thank you to them for arranging that. And I also was fortunate enough to have booked the accommodation where you can cancel it up to the day and get a full refund. So no money lost there, thankfully. Now, of course, I was absolutely gutted to not be doing these two events, especially as the Outlaw was my A race for the year. But in hindsight, I'm seeing potentially missing Outlaw as a bit of a blessing in disguise, and I'll explain why. So firstly, being so early in the year, I hadn't had the opportunity to do much cycling outdoors. And I don't really enjoy sitting on the turbo for hours and on end. So part of me was thinking, given this, was I really as prepared as I could be for Outlaw? Now the running wasn't so much of an issue because I'd done a half marathon, how long was it? A few months ago maybe? And I actually set a new PB there. That went really well. So that put me, that gave me a lot of confidence in the running part. But the cycling, I wasn't so confident with. Now the other blessing in disguise is that me and my partner Stacey are actually expecting our first child in June. And I was just thinking, it would probably be sod's law that the baby would arrive, or Stacey would go into labour at least, while we're in Nottingham. Now, she didn't have any problems coming with me to support me. She's really good in that regard, but I did feel a little bit guilty about dragging her halfway across the country, basically, when she was so heavily pregnant. So although I am disappointed not to be doing either of those races, I just need to look at the positives, and that there's always next year. I've hopefully got a few more races coming up towards the end of this year after the baby's born. So we'll see how those go. So moving on to how I'm actually feeling now, and it's been, at the time of recording, just over 3 weeks since the foot got broken. I'm actually really impressed with how quickly I've recovered. The first week was obviously very difficult, and the second week was also difficult, but I did start to see some improvements, and then really this last week is where I've really noticed some good recovery. Now, I'm not going to go too much into depth on my recovery in this video. I'm going to film a separate video going over that. So what is next for me now? Well, I'm going to let my foot fully heal. The doctor said that it will take between 4 and 6 weeks to heal. At this point of filming, we're just over 3 weeks in. I have been able to do a little bit of training at this point, which I'm really pleased about. So I'm just going to allow these 4 to 6 weeks to pass, and then we'll reassess what we're going to do for the rest of the year. Now, I do only have one other race planned, actually 2 races. I've got a local 10k, Barnstaple 10k in July, and then the weekend after is a very local triathlon in Bideford. So I'm really looking forward to doing those. I would love the opportunity to do a few more races, maybe in August and September, once we've settled in with the baby and my foot's fully recovered. So that's a quick overview on the unfortunate breaking of my foot and how I've managed it up to this point. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Click on this screen here where you will be taken to my previous video. If you check that out, that'd be great. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.